Hello everybody and welcome back to the Pod. This is a totally special episode 20 right here. Because, well, we were supposed to be 4 people today and I'm sitting here all alone. Saying that's just how it is. Different things caught up and I didn't want to let you guys down because to be honest I really just want to sit down and have a little talk with myself while my imaginary guys, you listened. I know you're listening. Although damn, hibernation is hitting. Even this podcast, the hibernation is hitting. So yeah, just I want to give a little insight to Holleufer, to my life right here, because it's been a hectic week. For those who don't know, at the time of recording, it is the 5th day or so with mites. So yeah, I don't know what the status is when you hear this. Maybe the video is out. It'll be another week. I think if you hear this the day the podcast come out, it'll be another few days before the video come out. Hopefully the YouTube video at least. But yeah, this is episode 20 and it was supposed to be with everyone, and we were supposed to discuss mites and how to deal with them. And I think we'll do that next week because I want to hear you guys' thoughts, and I want to hear, I want to discuss how to deal with mites, with the whole lemon and no lemon and all of these different things. And I think next week I will have some results from my mite problem because currently they have been treated 1 day ago, and not too much to say about that yet. But yeah, so a little bit of just a slow little podcast with you and me chatting. And I want to discuss a few things that you maybe don't realize when you are just watching ant YouTubers. Hibernation time is around the corner, and it is now hibernating. My European ants are in a cold room, around 18 degrees, and I'll put them in hibernation maybe this week. I'm just letting them get ready for it slowly. But yeah, as the ants go into hibernation, the viewers actually also go a lot into hibernation. So what do I mean with this? Well, the stats on my YouTube channel is down, which to be honest, I don't mind because that also happened last year. Last year I was a little bit confused, but it seems like the stats just die in hibernation. So yeah, I've decided to try some new videos, but before we go into that, yeah, to be honest, I don't really care too much about stats because it's not, there's 20,000 people who've watched my YouTube channel this month. So I mean, even though the stats are down, it's still 20,000 people. So it's incredible number still to me. But yeah, it's very fascinating to me that the click percent from subscribers just goes down because subscribers doesn't want to watch ant videos in hibernation time. I mean, since you're listening, either you're on the way into hibernation and you don't care about things anymore, or maybe you like keeping ants and watching videos all through hibernation, or maybe you just like hearing podcasts about ants in hibernation. Maybe you don't watch too many videos. Maybe you just need to hear something while you're at work. I don't know. I actually wanna ask something. I'm hearing another podcast called WTF1 about Formula 1 because I'm a Formula 1 fan, and they did something quite interesting in their podcast. They asked the viewers to send pictures of where they were listening to the podcast. So if you are listening to the podcast and you wanna send a review or something, you can get it mentioned on the next episode. Well, please send a review or something on the Antpod Instagram and send a picture of where you're listening to, because it may be fun to see where you're listening to it. Maybe you're just doing something like Antimatters or Campanigo, who is just doing ant maintenance while listening to the podcast. Maybe you are at work. I hear the podcast. Back in the days, I heard both the real podcast and I heard the podcast doing different things. So I heard the podcast when I hear the podcast to make sure there isn't too many mistakes. Then I hear the podcast when it came out. Now I only hear it one time to make sure that there isn't any mistakes. Because we are using a program that sometimes have faults, but also they are not fixable. So I just hear to make sure everything sounds okay and the voices are pretty okay. How do you say it? A pretty okay split, so one guy isn't too loud, which is especially annoying with someone like Casey. Yeah, hello Casey, if you're listening. You talk very slow, and then you get a jump, which is very hard because when I look at the audio waves, I just look at where the average speech level is at. So Casey, you normally go from 18 to 12, and then I have to turn you up, so you go from 12 to 6. But then you become happy, and you're just all the way up in the 0 zone, in the red zone, which is a little bit annoying because then I have to turn you a little bit down, and then when you're not excited, you become very low again, which is that's how it is. We do, but there's not too much to do about it. But it's something I never quite know what to do to make you high or low. That's a little bit of inside knowledge. But yeah, what did I mean before when I said I'm changing the video styles? Well, many of you probably noticed the 2 latest video. I guess the latest videos I've published have been very different from my old video styles, and there's a few reasons why I've done it. To be honest, when I did my leaf cutter, the new ADA setup, I was so excited. I've spent so much time editing, and I put so many hours into that one video that my fiance thought I had made. I had made a few videos in advance because I had been editing so much. And when the video came out, I was so excited to see how it did. And it just didn't perform good. Which is, looking back, I mean, now it's done good. It's a pretty decent video now. And it's still a good video. But at the time, it was such a big slap in my head. I was so demotivated. I just didn't want to do anything. Then I did my giveaway, which was so funny because people were like, "Oh guys, I love you guys," and it was such a happy vibe. And no one knew that it was my last video for a while. But yeah, I took a break, mainly just to refocus. A few things happened in my life. A few big things happened, and I was just a few weeks of difficult times. Which I'm still having a little bit today, sadly, but that's just life. But yeah, what I wanted to do was videos a bit more like Formy the Plane. So Formy the Plane is a French YouTuber. We had him on the podcast in episode, I want to say 18, it may be 17, I can't say for sure. But yeah, he was on one of the podcasts, and when you look at his videos, I was just so damn impressed to see how many things were happening. It was just every single clip was just fast. And it made me want to do something similar because, to be honest, I've made videos for so long that I felt like all the videos were getting kind of boring, and I wanted to try some new things. So I did an update on my Flavus, Herculinus, and Ligniperda, and I had this brilliant idea of how I wanted to start the video off with making the 3 Saturns, boom, 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 build them all 3, which I did, and I was motivated to make this, and I did, and I edited, and I was very, very satisfied with the look. But then came the update, and to be honest, there wasn't anything to say about the colony itself, any of the colonies, so the video itself was quite boring. But it got me hooked. I did like doing these fast edits. So I tried to do a little bit of a different style for my Nova Mesa Cockerelli. I tried doing a clickbait that was very simple because YouTube recommends your thumbnails should be very simple and go with the wording of your text, your title of the video. So I tried doing a funny video, doing fun, the queen has to move because of the high electric bill and these kind of things. And I really did enjoy making that video. I felt it was very, very funny. I mean, it's not like very funny, but I did enjoy making that video, and I did enjoy the whole thing. I also wanted to make it quite quick and be fast paced, and I think it was quite a success. I was quite satisfied with the video in the end. But when that video came out, I had really high expectations. I shared it on Facebook, I shared it everywhere. I was really hoping they would do well. I mean, not super well, but just do well. And that video, it did even worse. It did so poorly. Which when I'm thinking about it, I've gone past the point of I was sad when I saw it, but now I've moved on. But what I just need to realize in my head is it's hibernation, so people don't watch the videos. Not the same amount of people, at least. Every single video I make pretty much get less views than the video before, simply because the subscribers aren't clicking. And when the subscribers aren't clicking on the video, YouTube doesn't recommend it to nearly as many people outside my subscribers, which is just even worse. But to be honest, it's always fascinating. I don't really know why I do these YouTube videos. Originally, I wanted to do ant vlogs just to document how our colonies grew bigger and bigger and how everything happened. And now it's these very different style videos. And I really did enjoy making the Nova Mesa Cockerelli video. I was very bummed out the morning. I think the reason I was so annoyed that it did so poorly was I had a dream where it had 15,000 views, which is the crazy, and it was just so viral, and I woke up to it being 9th out of 10 out of my last 10 videos. So it was ranked 9 out of 10 views wise after 12 hours or something. It really bummed me out. But that's how it is. I got upset. I moved on. I wanted to kind of study what went wrong in that video. And then I made my next video about my... Sorry, I'm sitting... I'm very happy, so I'm moving a little bit back and forward on my chair. But I made the next video... what were they? They were my... What were they about? My Tetramarum caspitum, because they needed a new outworld, a new setup. So I made a video about them, and I tried doing it a little bit more dramatic and fast paced. And to be honest, looking back, I did enjoy making the Nova Mesa Cockerelli video a lot more than this Tetramarum caspitum video. But I tried doing it even faster and also making it focused for non-ant keepers, so non-ant keepers could follow and understand the video. And yeah, the video is a lot more... People say it's a lot more like Ant Canada videos. And you're right, I am trying to do new type of videos. I'm trying to reach a new audience a little bit outside the normal ant keepers, because on my extra channel, you may be hearing this on YouTube. If you are, this also comes out on Spotify. But if you are listening it on YouTube, that is my extra channel, and that is also where I'm doing streams, behind the scenes stuff. Not too much, but I want to do a little bit behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, I want that channel to be more for ant keeping nerds and ant keepers. Of course, there's also the whole short aspect of that channel. But the good thing is shorts don't spam nearly as much as they did before, at least YouTube-wise. It's a lot. You don't get spammed on the same level as you did a few months ago, because a few months ago a short showed up like a video on the subscription page, and now it shows up like a story on the shorts part of the subscription page. So it isn't as much spamming now, which I find is very nice. Because I personally don't like short myself. I just make them because, well, maybe they do well, maybe they don't. But they're fast to make, and again, I do like doing these small updates. But yeah, now I'm sitting here. Saturday I did an ant maintenance stream, and I looked at my Carabera diversa. And I saw that the queen looked like a diamond. She has a lot of these shiny bubbles. And I was very confused at it. So I asked the viewers, did people know what it was? But people didn't respond, so I just moved on. But I kept having in the back of my head that something was weird with that Carabera diversa colony. So I took a look at them again, and that's when I saw that, yeah, they were covered in mites. Thousands of mites all over the ant, all over the workers, all over the queen. And doing that stream, I got so disorientated that I just had to stop the stream and figure out what I needed to do. I went over and bought a lemon, and I returned to make another stream where I would then add the lemon. But by then I had talked with a lot of different people. A lot of people suggested the lemon, a lot of people suggested not to use the lemon method. And again, this is something we'll discuss in the next podcast, which is just mites. But it really I decided to go with a trusted source, someone we can talk about next week, because if it worked well, we can expose the name of the trusted source. If it doesn't work well, we may also expose the name of the trusted source. But yeah, that's how it is. But what really surprised me was there's quite a few people that were negative, saying, "Oh, you're a bad ant keeper," and "Oh, you're doing this to get attention," and "Oh, how could you miss such a thing?" Which I know all of those people definitely won't be listening to this podcast where I'm just sitting and talking for the 15th minute in a row. But yeah, I was just I feel like I'm sad, because our hobby is at a strange place. I feel like last year we had the whole lights, camera, and cancel him thing movement, and it ended up taking a different turn. And just again, I don't have anything against lights, camera, and back then I felt I was a little bit weird with the whole feeding live wasp to a small Fidoli, not a small, but a Fidoli colony. But it changed, and yeah, he's done so well now, and just yeah, congratulations, you've done very well. But that was a weird moment because people with gel farms suddenly got bullied by "We Don't Approve" movement, and instead of an educational movement, it became kind of a bully movement around TikTok, at least from what I saw. It wasn't anything I tried to seek up, and I didn't try to look at how well it did or anything. From the random videos I got recommended on TikTok, I just saw people saying "We Don't Approve," and that it went another way than Aesthetic initially planned. I don't think Aesthetic planned it to go that way. Aesthetic Ants was the guy who started the movement. I don't think it meant for it to go that way, but it went that way. Then I myself started a little bit of drama because my Mesa Barbers had a massive escape, and I decided when it happened that I was gonna make videos about it and put it all over the place, because it was the third Mesa Barbers escape, and the other times I've just done one video and it did kind of well. So I thought, I'm gonna record everything and document everything and make a video about it. And I didn't want to put the creator, the nest maker's name within the video, just because I felt that it was not their fault. It was my neglect, and it was a little bit of a weird circumstances, because the Outworld had got an update and I didn't have that update because I thanked no to that update. But the company, High-Tech Ants, I mean, I can just say it. High-Tech Ants went out and said, like, the whole, it's like having your brakes fail and keep driving and wonder why you crashed into a wall. And that triggered me a lot, because I realized that, dude, that's a professional company going around keep saying we like quality, we do this, we do that, and I'm just a guy, and he just went out and called me stupid, which I did not like. So I went into baby mode, and I got triggered, and I made I put him in the video in the very end. So if people were interested, they would have to see like 70% of the video before me going out and triggering and calling out High-Tech Ants, which led to a lot of controversy in the comments. A lot of people saying, "Oh, dude, it's your fault. Why? It's just for views." And a lot of people went out saying, "All right, how can the company respond like that?" And looking back on it, I wouldn't have done it differently if High-Tech Ants had responded like they did. If they hadn't responded at all, I wouldn't have put their name in the video at all, and it would only be the people who knew that the Outworld was from High-Tech Ants that would link the two things together. And I wouldn't do the whole, I would never ever recommend a company calling customers to all of that. But what I'm trying to say is, a bit later, that's not that long ago, I tried merging two Venator ant colonies, two Harpygnathos Venator colonies, because I had been told by a lot of people that it was possible. Like a lot of people, like talking out of the people who had responded, I think one had said it won't work, and 20 people had said it will work. And this was from guys I didn't know to guys I trusted to all over the place. So I felt comfortable adding in the queen and the colony, and I did add workers one by one before finally adding the queen. And everything looked good. And that night I came back and it was just war. It was chaos. It was not good. It was chaotic, and I decided to kill the worker that was trying to kill the queen. Which I said in the video because I want to be an honest video of what happens. But people were so upset that I killed the worker. Because if I just had put the worker in another container for it to die alone for the rest of its life, would have been much better. I don't know. Would you rather be alone in a box for the rest of your life, or would you die immediately? Well, saying it like that, you never want to die. But yeah, it's my most disliked video of all time. I think it has more dislikes than the escape video. Now I don't really look at my dislikes at all. I just once every here and there I pop in a look. And I have around 4 haters regularly, but that one video has a lot of haters, which is understandable. It was a weird video, looking back at it. But again, I wouldn't have done it anything differently. Maybe, except I could have said very, very, very clearly, I'm gonna take this worker, put it in another box, and look at her die slowly, because she will be lonely in this separate box, and people may have been a lot more happy in the comments. No, they wouldn't. I should just have not have said that looking back, but that's how it is. I'm an honest man. I share everything. I shared my escape story. I shared the response. I shared both sides, the high-tech ants response and my response and everything. And the same with the mites. So the mites, I got the colony a while back, and I have macro footage of the colony, and I can't see any mites. So what have happened is most likely the mites have laid eggs on the queen when she was home in Thailand, and these eggs have just been waiting to develop. And when I put them in this Wakushi gypsum nest that was very humid, which Caribera diversa needs, the eggs clicked and started going crazy. If I were a guy who looked at all of my ants detailed every week with a flashlight, I would have caught it a lot earlier, but I'm not. I took the red lid off, looked at the colony, saw a lot of brood, and the colony was growing, and I moved on. That's how I missed it. I have very poor lighting in my ant room, and without a camera, you can't see the mites. It looks a little bit shiny if you have if the light hits the queen correctly, but on the workers, they look completely normal, just because they're quite small. But of course, the second I recorded them with my phone, and I could zoom, I saw it, and I went crazy. I panicked, and I didn't know what to do, which you can still hear if you see the 2 live streams that are on my Holleufer Extra channel. So you can still see them if you want, and you can hear my reaction. I feel like my reaction is, yeah. I'm an honest man. I showed my ant room. It's a mess, and that's how it is. I've been in a bad few weeks of my real life, of course. Real life bad effects and keeping bad life. This is a really personal podcast, so shout out to all of you listening still. I always want to be personal and just honest, which is also why I'm sitting doing this podcast, because I was supposed to do the mites video or the mite podcast, but Sam couldn't make it, and I know Casey, he is in a phone, and from past experience, those phone signals is not too good. So I just let everyone know that we'll just not record today, mainly because, to be honest, what happened was people have been upset with me not realizing that my ants have been doing poorly, and I just had a rant on Instagram. So yeah, those who saw it, that's today, and yeah, I'm just emotional. I've been at school for 4 weeks. It's been so nice. I've been a good student, getting good grades and being happy in school with a lot of people, and now I'm going around to people's house as an electrician solo, and it's just been a few quiet days where I've just been left to wander with my own thoughts, which have affected me negatively. Affected me negatively. Which is life. And yeah, just this whole thing with the mites have just with people responding negatively have just chopped my head off. Now I know it's only 5 people compared to 1,000 people saying, I'm sorry to hear, this is how you fix it, and those 5 people saying you did it on your fault. And normally I wouldn't listen to them. I just normally laugh at them. But due to how upset I am, because again, if I just had looked at my ants properly, I would have seen it. But the reason I've just spent 15 minutes telling a story of the high-tech ants incidents and all of this is because someone recently made a comment of one of my AntCon videos. I saw that they had commented on 3 of my videos, and they were like, dude, I only knew Ants Canada, and you're amazing. And I was so happy, like, yeah, thank you, and yeah, welcome to the hobby. It's a great hobby. Because he had just started, and he saw my AntCon video also, and was like, I didn't know how many people were in the hobby and all of this. And all I could sit there thinking is, there's so much hate in this hobby between different creators, between content creators, between shops. I'm just sat there thinking, it's a good hobby, but it's not a friendly hobby. If you do bad things, you are hated on. And I know as a content creator myself, I dramatize things and all of these things, clickbait things, but that's because I spend a lot of hours into videos, so I would like the videos to be seen. But I don't do anything to deliberately cause my ants to do poorly to make a good video. That's not something I would do. I hate killing my cockroaches just because I feel I don't like taking lives away. So even when I have to kill roaches, I hate it. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, cut the head off. And then to make sure that the roach is not suffering, I'm also squishing the head so it's all cut off and died and turned off, because I hate killing roaches. I'm not an animal killer, which just upsets me even more, because maybe on my YouTube videos I'm like, oh, I dropped my queen and oh, all of this. In reality, I'm just I don't know. I'm just I'm I don't think that way. And behind the scenes, I have also I'm talking with people, and I'm a lot more unfiltered about different creators and stuff like that. But generally, I just always want to look positive and make positive things to boost the general hobby. And it just upsets me that all I could think about, and this was even before the mite incidents. This was a month ago that the guy commented on the videos, and I was like, "Welcome to the hobby." And as I said, it's a great hobby. It's a friendly hobby. I said something like, "Welcome to the hobby. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, we are quite a few thousand people, and it's a welcome community. Lots of people will help each other and all of this." And yeah, I just said that, and I felt like I was lying because I feel like it's not as friendly as it might seem from the outside. As an ant keeper, you don't really feel it, but when you get into the ant keeping community and start realizing how much is going on and off between different kind of companies, how one company tries to attack another company, how one company tries suing another company, how someone have patented your hydration chamber, and all of these different things. I mean, I understand that the companies have competition. I understand that, and that of course makes sense. But it's still just I feel it's annoying that people go out and call off each other, helping each other. I don't know. I don't have any money invested in this hobby. I am just a hobbyist. which make it even worse when people get pissed that I don't look at my ants properly. What was it? Someone said that my page is all about ants, so they don't understand how I haven't seen that my ants have mites. Well, I have a different. Either way, I mean, it's becoming a little bit of the podcast I wanted it, and yet saying all of these things, I feel like I'm just ranting again. I don't know. I just feel like the hobby is taking a weird turn, a weird twist than what I had hoped for when I joined it all those years ago. It's weird because the thing is, when I slowly got into the inner circles of the shops and all of these things, that's when I got more and more of these secrets and more of these different stories. From the companies I'm talking with today, from the companies I was talking with 2 years ago, and I just felt like the more you found out, the worse it got, which is just sorry. I'm just yeah. I don't know. A good example is Ancon. Now I loved Ancon, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever for ant keepers. This is everything I have ever wanted it. And when I were at Ancon, it was the greatest thing. It was one of the best days of my life because I could just sit down and I was just surrounded by ant keepers. I could go in an ant room. I know as a content creator, people saw me like Ant Holleufer and maybe they wanted to chat a little bit extra due to that. It doesn't matter. I went into the ant room because I felt bored, and I looked at the ants. And every time I did that, new people came and started talking about different colonies, talking about, oh, dude, this colony over here is doing funny stuff, look. And maybe it's because I was a content creator, I don't know. But I just felt like that was such a perfect moment in the community. And I can't remember what led up to it, but I remember a few weeks before, I started hearing different chit chat about, oh, the Ancon is just for closed inner circle people, and so much bad things suddenly came towards Ancon, and I was just like, no, this is just to keep people together. I mean, if it was possible for Kushi and Antics to make an Ancon that could host 10,000 people, I think they would do that if they had the budget. Because I do think that what they want with Ancon is to bring people together. Now, I don't know, because I can only say what I think they think. But if it was possible, I think they would say yes to that. If a billionaire were like, oh, would you like £1 million to make a worldwide Ancon convention? I think they would say yes to do the convention, not to get the money. But I feel like what the different other stores think, and I may be totally wrong, but this is what I'm thinking when I'm listening to it, is the other companies just think it's just to promote themselves, and I don't know. Again, it's hard to tell because I haven't invested money in this hobby. It's not my livelihood or anything. I'm just a hobbyist, so I may be totally wrong. I don't think I am, but I may be. And I don't know. I felt Ancon was to bring people together. And it turned out so amazing, but it was just all of this drama before Ancon, which I was like, dude, it's just an Ant convention to make people happy. How can you twist this in a bad way? And I just remember those were such great days, just because I felt so at home at Ancon. It was like leaving a second home. I of course I were there a few more days than the convention, because I came Friday, walked around, and Antics were there from before Ancon opened till after it closed, and I came back again Sunday morning to chat, and I have an alarm saying I have to record podcasts, which I'm doing right now. So good, thank you phone for reminding me. But I just remember it was such quite mentally emotional to leave Ancon, just because it had been such amazing moments. And recently I started this Minecraft server that some of you are playing on. Probably not that many of you guys who are listening to the podcast, but maybe a few of you. And what this Minecraft server is, it's I wanted to play a little bit of Minecraft, and I wanted to start a server just because that's something I've always wanted. So I did, and it's only for Ant keepers. And I remember one of the Fridays or one of the Thursdays, we were a lot of people on the server, and every time there came a new guy, we were just talking about ants, and I felt so at home. Now I know that Wakushi is making these Friday chats, where it's a similar principle, but I feel like the Friday chats with Wakushi are nice, but it's not as much as everyone is talking. It's more a few people are talking and a lot of people are listening in, which is good. I do like the Friday chats. I'm not saying that much in the chats, I'm just listening in. But in those Minecraft servers, it was just like, or on the servers, just like a few people are just talking together. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not that much into the Discord servers or what it is, but I'm quite introverted in real life. I'm an extroverted introvert. I don't know. I just like sitting and actually talking with people, and that's something I never will do in my real life, because generally I don't have any people near my real life that are interested in ants. I mean, I do have some new ant friends, but yeah, generally not. Surprised that I can just keep talking. It just flows in my head. I don't know what more I want to say. Yeah, it's been a few difficult weeks for me, but I felt like I was over it, and I did some good videos, and the videos did very poorly, which hit me in the face before I realized that that's hibernation, and I am motivated to make my might video. I want to do my might video. I want to put a lot of thought into how I want to put it together, to make sure I'm happy with it, It will be towards not ant-keepers, so fast pace and stuff like that, and dramatic. The thing is, after I made my dramatic video about my Tetramarum caspitum, I realized I did enjoy making the funny video about the Nova Mesoth Cockerelli a lot more. And a lot of people, not a lot, but 10, 15, 20 people have commented, why do you do this now clickbait? Why do you do so much clickbait? Ant Canada 2.0, all of these things. And I want to try some new stuff. I want to try some new videos to see if I can reach a new audience. Why? Well, who said it? I think it was Vern in last week's podcast. He said, even though he doesn't sell the honeypot ants, tells a customer, he still want to help the customer, because in the end of the day, if the customer gets a successful honeypot colony, they may recommend the honeypot colony to even more people, and that way more people can join the hobby. It is an amazing hobby, with questionable what's it called? Questionable, well, inner circle or questionable community. Community, that's what I want to say. It's the same with on the Ants Canada Facebook group. Someone posted a very weird setup, and they were like, look at the setup, and people were just making fun of it, which I was like, I mean, it is a very weird setup, and it is a very funny looking setup. But if it works and it's cheap, if it works, it works, right? I just feel like there's a lot of these. If you don't cover up your nest in darkness, you're a bad ant-keeper. If you don't do this, you're a bad ant-keeper. If I don't check my Carabera Queen for mites, I'm a bad ant-keeper. If I check her for mites every day, I'm a bad ant-keeper. If I look at them every day, I'm a bad ant-keeper. If I don't look at them every day, I'm a bad ant-keeper. I feel this as a newbie coming into the hobby. Again, I don't know how much new ant-keepers see or hear. But I feel it's just, I don't know. Maybe no one hears about this when they come in. Or maybe they're hit with a, what? Did you put a queen like that? Did you do that? And I just think it's just weird. It is just weird. And yeah. Maybe it's just because I'm a content creator, I'm getting slacked even more. Maybe not. I don't know. But even yeah. I don't know. And I've said what I wanted to say now, I think. Some of the things many people have heard of, but not all people have heard of. I had a Ada escape that was bigger than the Metabarbarous escape during the time where I did not have it too good. I came home and all I wanted to do was just to sit down and play games and just not do anything, just shut my mind off. And I had a few thousand Ada workers running all over my my ant room, which wasn't too nice. So yeah, I got a few hours delayed, and yeah, it's just yeah, that's how it is. The Ada are still doing great, by the way. They have I've recently emptied the trash box, and it's very fun because now a fungi that hadn't been developed for a while is now starting to be developed after they removed the trash that was lying next to it. But in the other fungi chambers, there is trash together with the fungi, so yeah, they are weird ants. Very weird ants. I do like just sitting down chatting. I do like just getting everything off my chest, and I feel like I've ranted on the hobby now. I don't know what I want to make the hobby do better. That's impossible to say. I just to be honest, and that's the thing. I'm not a screaming loud person. I don't say these things except when I'm sitting here by myself and looking at my Ada colony. That's I wouldn't say this in a Facebook chat. I wouldn't say, dude, you're so wrong, and that's that's why are you guys making fun? I'm not that kind of guy. So yeah, what I can do is I can sit by myself and do a podcast saying, guys, be better. Yeah. That's also I just want to keep it real. I've always just wanted to keep keeping real from my side. When I'm lazy, I want to show that I'm lazy. When I'm not lazy, I want to show that I'm not lazy. But people are not liking that I'm showing that I'm lazy. But yeah, that is how it is. That is some inside knowledge of the and content creator and Holleufer. Yeah. So next week, hopefully, we are back at full speed. A lot of people, all 4 people. I know Ryan may be half on the way out of the podcast. If you're listening to this, Ryan, you know it's true. I mean, you're always welcome, Ryan, but you know it's true. Simply because Ryan is very, very busy with real life because, well, he has a child. And the second you get a child, you can't just sit and record podcasts. So it gets different because he has to take care of his wonderful child. So that's why Ryan haven't been here too often. Casey, he also is here quite often, but not all the time, and that is because, well, when we record, he's actually at work, and the first few episodes he took the day off to do the podcast. I mean, he didn't take the entire day off, but he took like half a day off to do the podcast, which he started changing. So now he's at work, just taking an extra long break. But that also means that sometimes his connection isn't too good. Hence why we had to. I did an episode with him, or I planned to do an episode just with me and him, but the connection to him was too bad, so we couldn't record. Then there's Sammy. Now, Sammy, if you're listening to this, you need to be better at responding on your phone. Yeah. And that's the thing again. Sammy is a young lad. He's like, what is he? Is he 18? Is he 19? I think he's 18. Meaning he has the whole night in front of him. Which is also alright. If when I was 18, I maybe wouldn't do this. I don't know. But yeah, he's just such a clever guy that we can't not have you on the show, Sammy. You're too valuable to not have on the show. But yeah, I felt like it was nice for me to just sit down and chat, get a lot off my chest. Now for those who are in this podcast, hello again. Hope you are having a good day. If you are having a bad day, I hope tomorrow is a better day, and I hope your day today will be a little bit better. I hope your day today will be a little bit better because I couldn't figure out how to say that, and that made you smile. Maybe not. Yeah. I had something, but because I couldn't say better, I lost it. Yeah, I felt it was nice to just sit down and get all of this off my chest. Maybe there's something to think about. Maybe you guys don't feel it. Maybe you feel it as well. Maybe you know all of these weird things happening a little bit behind the scenes. Maybe you don't. Maybe I've just scared you a lot. And if I've just scared you a lot, this is the greatest hobby in the world. We're all so friendly to each other. No, nothing to worry about. Just be prepared if someone talks weirdly. But yeah, guys. I think that has been it for this podcast. Now, I just need to. I can't remember our new outro, so I'll just have to find right here. We're still recording, right? I hope. Yes, we are. All right. Into the server. All right. Right there. Oh damn, sorry, that's loud. Yeah. I want to say, thank you for listening to this podcast episode. Compared to my voice is dying. Normally I would say share it with all of your friends and keeping interested guys and girls. Maybe not. Maybe if you want to show this. Maybe if you don't. Yeah, it's just been a little bit behind the scenes of my life. so at least my keeping life. Of course, not my real life. if you heard that, guys, it'll be a whole other story. But yeah, I want to say thank you for listening to this episode of me whining a little bit, ranting. Hopefully next week it'll be a little bit more positive. But yeah, from all of us at the Antpod. Wait, hang on, that's not the outro. The outro is, and you will hear more from us here at the Antpod next week. By the way, do you like the new outro? I hope you do. Have a good week/day.